Rogue's my first character back in Vanilla WoW, but I haven't played it for the last 12 years, and it's changed quite a bit in that time. I'm a resto druid main, but since the game is pretty quiet at the moment, I figured I'd dust off my old rogue and try to gear him up a bit in some keys for fun. He's up to 220 item level after playing him for a week, and I've learned that bringing your experience as a healer with you when you play rogue can be super valuable and fun. One of the main things that you learn as a healer, especially when pugging lower keys, is what mobs and mob abilities are dangerous and what you need to keep an eye out for to keep your team alive when mistakes inevitably happen. This is one of the places where rogue also shines. One of the main things that rogues bring to the group is tons of defensive utility and CC. So like in this pull, for instance, I see the stalker's about to get their bite, so I land a kidney shot on it to stop it. I see the Guardian is about to do Bucking Rampage, so I hit it with the blind to keep things grouped up. And then the Shaper starts to cast, so I land a kick. And basically we're able to just keep these mobs grouped up in one spot and cleave them all down pretty easily. One more example of control that can be really helpful is during the intermission phase when you're bursting down the clone and the fox spawns right next to you in melee. You can put out some hard CC and keep that fox locked in place so people can keep damaging one. There's also some fun tricks you can do where, like if for instance you see a patrol incoming, just throw out a distract and it's going to help your team avoid pulling extra mobs into an already spicy pull. You also bring a ton of defensive utility with you, so in cases like Baruth's Carnage, you can be ready to vanish it in the last second during the animation and completely avoid the damage. This is going to save your healer a ton of healing that they need to do, and is going to make your runs safer and cleaner overall. You can also take advantage of this defensive utility to maximize your own overall damage. So in this case with Sagadon, I end up using evasion, so I can just stand in and keep doing damage while everyone else needs to run away. That defensive utility can also be used to make things safer for your team. So in this case, we end up fighting these two Huntmasters at the end of our Sanguine Depths run, and I'm seeing all these traps popping up, and I'm thinking it's just a matter of time before someone steps in these, so I pop Cloak and just run through them all so everyone else can keep DPSing safely. Another example of using your utility to avoid damage, evasion on this rush, or if you don't have evasion up, you can still use your Shadow Step to an ally to completely avoid the damage. One of the other things that can be really beneficial about playing Rogue is knowing what mobs need to die like super fast, either for safety or for time. So in this case, we're fighting Baruth, and I can just do like instant on-demand burst damage, and we can just completely shit on this guy. That on-demand burst can come in helpful during some damage checks, like in the intermission phase of Mistcaller, where you need to just have like instant burst to kill the clone. So you can be saving some CDs and just be ready to absolutely dumpster the clones, just so your healer gets a lot less pressure put on them. I will say that playing an under-geared character in 15s is actually kind of challenging, especially when you're like learning the class. You're kind of squishy and sometimes you just die to random damage. And of course there's like often ways that you can prevent it, but it's still funny nonetheless. Oh my god, I'm taking so much damage.
Oh, poor Nezo.
What? He's just throwing flesh at me! Between the control and the really flexible damage profile that can easily switch between single target burst, strong AoE, or funneling into one big high HP mob, Rogue's really fun and brings a lot to the team that can help you time keys. This isn't even getting into what you can do with Shroud or how tanky they are with the cheat death. It's a really fun class to play, and definitely recommend it if you're a healer that's feeling like the game is a little stale right now. Then maybe Rogue is a good thing for you to try if you want to try playing a DPS. I know this is a little different from my usual Resto Druid content, but I thought you might find it to be an interesting change of pace, and I think your experience as a healer in keys could be valuable to your team as a rogue. Also, I have more Resto Druid content planned, so stay tuned for that. Have fun and good luck out there.